Good morning,
All right.
Good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are joining us from here at the Web3 Warriors. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 16 of the Web3 Warriors, and we're really excited to have Cybernerdbaby joining us, a very creative duo of builders in the metaverse, 3D builders. We're going to talk about AR and VR and some of the cool projects that they've got going on. And before we do that, I just want to welcome everyone to the show. As always, this is the Web3 Warriors, where we talk about all things Web3, blockchain, the real revolutionary power of the peer-to-peer connection and being able to purchase art or any creative digital asset from another individual anywhere in the world through the power of peer-to-peer, cutting out all of the old middlemen that have used to exist when we're looking at financial services, when we're looking at commerce. Basically, it's a whole new economy. So that's what Web3 Warriors is about. And today, we're going to be talking about specifically the metaverse. For those who don't know, is basically all things in the digital realm. You've probably heard about Facebook maybe changing their name to Meta, for example. So that's kind of in line with trying to be part of that narrative. Today, we're going to actually have an interesting conversation about the difference between Web 2 metaverse spaces and Web 3 metaverse spaces, which I think is an important distinction. We can look at games like Second Life. There's a lot of VR spaces, AltSpace VR, for example, where they do basically have very cool and interesting metaverse communities and being able to really engage in the digital space and commune with other people. But that would be considered a Web 2 metaverse space, at least as of right now, because it is fairly centralized. You may be able to own a lot or own a certain asset within the game on that platform, but you don't actually own it, in the real sense, right? You don't own that piece of land or that piece of digital asset in your own wallet that you can then sell or transfer to somebody else. So that's the key distinction when looking at, the new Web3 potential, the Web3 metaverse space versus kind of the more traditional, what we call Web 2 metaverse spaces that have really been around for quite a while already, right? So what's new and exciting is looking at the economic potential within the Web 3 metaverse spaces where you really own your own lot and you can really customize it and build out your own digital assets and then sell those to other people. So with that in mind, really looking at that power, that potential in the Web3 space. And specifically here, this is why we do this Web3 Warriors podcast on Twitch. We are trying to reach out to kind of the gamer community out there. They're not fully aware of what Web3 is, or when they hear blockchain or they hear NFTs, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So we're out here trying to really reach out to that specific segment of the population, because I believe, as a gamer myself, that gamers are going to be the first to truly understand this new economy, the blockchain-based Web3 economy, because it's not that far away from kind of the digital assets that we're used to dealing with. So with that in mind, we're really looking at what does the future of gaming look like, but also, there's this kind of balancing act, because you're hearing a lot about, in the Web3 gaming space specifically, a concept of play to earn, which is that you can play your games, but you'll actually be able to, maybe you get paid in cryptocurrency just for taking part in the game, or maybe by taking part in the game, you actually accrue digital assets that you can then turn around and sell, which is another way to earn revenue basically from the games. So that's one side of kind of the Web3 gaming space. The other side that I think we're going to kind of get into a lot more today with our amazing guests who are joining us in their Web3 avatars from the metaverse is kind of the more social and community side of Web3 gaming and the Web3 metaverse specifically, which is, you can build out your own spaces that are very customized to exactly what you're trying to present, and what you're trying to offer your community. And maybe you have an intention of like building a specific space for your music, for example, or to show your artwork. and you can build the whole ambiance around that and really customize it, and then create experiences within that space. And there's really no limits, which is awesome about the digital space and the Web3 metaverse. So that's what we're going to get into today, with probably some of the best guests that we could have for this topic. In the past, we had Ebro on here talking about over the metaverse, OVR, and we really had an amazing chat. We actually made it 2 episodes long, and we're able to really get into a lot of different angles of it. But one of the coolest spaces we dropped into belonged to this duo here with Cybernerdbaby, which we've got SpaceJoe and Cybernerdbaby herself, which they use her name as their moniker for the two of them building in the metaverse, which is really cool. So yeah, that's how we found this group, and I've just been really amazed by some of the things that they've put out in the meantime, just in the couple weeks since that episode. So we're going to get into their project and really just learn a bit from them. Cybernerdbaby and SpaceJoe. And I'm looking forward to really talking metaverse. But before we talk about their projects that they've got going on, maybe we'll start with you, Cybernerdbaby. I want to welcome you, and maybe just give us a little bit of background, where you're coming from, how you got into building 3D builds, and then what brought you into Web3 and the blockchain specifically. So welcome.
Hi. So my name is Cybernerdbaby. This is my metaverse name, and my partner SpaceJoe. I'm streaming from VR as my Web3 avatar, and my partner SpaceJoe is doing the same but from AR. So you can see the difference. I'm in fully immersed environment, and SpaceJoe is actually in his room in his apartment, and he still are able to be his metaverse avatar. So as a team, we are professional AR creators. And when I say professional, I actually mean it because we make a living by building AR experiences for brands. And we had like one of our biggest clients as Heineken or Taco Bell, and we built for a lot of metaverse projects as well, for a lot of Web3 projects, and we build their assets or we build their AR experiences, and I don't know, or what do I say now?
No, that's cool.
I mean,
so I just want to make that quick distinction. So you're actually joining us from a VR space, and SpaceJoe, who is your co-creator, is joining us from an AR space. So we're actually getting a live view of, a kind of
God.
as a jellyfish.
I'm consumed by jellyfish here.
So Cybernerdbaby, for anybody listening to the podcast, is submerged underwater currently in her avatar, and there are jellyfish floating. It's not a backdrop. I'm actually here. I can turn around. I can show all of this. Very cool.
I'm in VR.
So we're getting
streaming
both
from VR.
Yeah, we're getting both the VR and AR treatment. So I just wanted to make that clear. But yeah, continue, Cybernerdbaby. So you build in these platforms, and you've done work for Heineken. You've got an impressive resume.
Yeah. We've got quite a bit of resume already, though we started not so long ago. We actually, as a team, we started just like it getting close to 1.5 years. Yeah, and like when we joined our forces, we started right away building AR and VR spaces, and like building avatars and bringing our ideas into life.
So how long have you been building 3D first of all, and then building within the metaverse?
Well, maybe you'll not believe, I don't know, but I started my 3D journey during COVID. When COVID started, we all went into lockdown. We actually, like when you were saying that there are artists, there are collectors, there are middlemen, we're actually very familiar with this concept because both of us come from the background of arts and photography, mainly photography. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we are very familiar how Web2 worked and how the old school dealing between people and artists work. So yeah, we're pretty happy like living in Web3 right now. So we can say that we started our 3D journey somewhere 2 years ago when the COVID started. So I
Wow, you made
started
it a
trying
long
here
way.
and there, and then I figured out I'm really good at this, here it comes.
Nice.
Yeah.
You made it a long way for just 2 years. So when you first started, it was basically from a Web3 context. Is that what you're saying? You didn't really have the traditional
no,
background. You've just been fully in the Web3
no,
space the
we were
whole time?
photographers. We were photographers, art photographers, both of us.
Oh, wow. Art photographers.
So we had some concepts of art and composition and whatnot already there, and I had a long training in music as well. So I suppose that helped. Also, I can say why we got immediately into Web3 once these things start popping out like metaverse. We actually got into building metaverse before the meta has announced that there will be metaverse, when
Of course,
the hype started, when the meta came forward with their metaverse concept, and everybody got to know what is it. But we started before that because since my childhood I actually read a lot of science fiction, and I really knew what was coming. I just didn't know it will happen within my lifetime, that
that's basically what
we will
my
get
reaction,
internet. That we will get internet coming off the screen and surrounding us already. We get immersed into digital universe. We will be able to come together into VR and hang out, and we can choose. We come as real people or we come as avatars. And that is very important because you get to be whom you want to be.
Most
or
definitely.
whom you see yourself to be.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's not very long journey for us, but it's very, very intense. We're very hardworking people. We work with no holidays. Well, because we had actually, not to brag, but we are very high in demand somehow, and we sometimes we can't control it even. So yeah, we just very hardworking people. That's why probably we did a lot in very short time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you must be hardworking to learn how to do this kind of 3D builds. I have some questions about the build specifically, but maybe I'll let SpaceJoe speak a little bit here on specifically your landing in Web3. So you both came from the kind of I guess you would say, at least it was somewhat artistic, even though it's photography. But you come from a traditional art background. What made you say like, hey, let's start building in the metaverse? Was it just like, because like you were saying, you're just fans of sci-fi and you saw the potential? I know that's what pulled me in too, as far as seeing the potential of the metaverse. And it's like, hey,
I actually brought us. Yeah. I was the one who brought us into the metaverse. Okay. Oh goodness! Sorry.
Got a jellyfish.
So so the fact is, I just put VR headset on my head and I say, "Oh my God, this is the future! It's already here. We have to do this. I mean, this has just started. Can you imagine what will be after 10 years? After 20 years? We have to get into this. This is like a dream come true. We have to be. We have to create for this."
I love it.
So, SpaceJoe?
What do you think, Joe? Is that what got you hooked?
Yeah. So, maybe I'll just like take us on a trip down to how it started. So, we both of us met when we were both doing photography. We were part of an photography exhibition, and so after that, we stayed in touch. And Cyber was actually building stuff in VR. So I was always like watching her works, what she's doing, and then she convinced me to get the VR headset. So I got it, the Oculus. Now everyone knows it as the Meta Quest. So I got that, and I was astonished, mind blown, because like it was a totally different world, and it was so immersive, and like it defies the laws of physics and everything. So it caught my attention, and then Cyber, she initiated for us to merge together, to join forces, and start creating stuff. So in fact, like back then when we started, we never heard of the term Web3 yet. So what we were doing back then was already, Web3, but there was no specific mentions about it. Even NFTs were not hyped back then. So then one day, the news came along. People sold for like 69 million, and then all the attention was on NFT, on blockchain, on crypto. So naturally that caught my attention, and then I started looking into it, learning more about it, and then I realized that this is what we need. It totally aligns with our vision that everything will be digitized. Like all experiences that we encounter every day would eventually be in the digital virtual world. So whatever we were doing that time was already on track. So that's when we started keep brainstorming. We talk a lot. We get inspired by science fiction films, anything that comes along. So from there we started creating, building stuff, and then the Meta announcement came, and that accelerated from there. So
Wow.
where we are right now, we're really proud of how much we have accomplished, because it took us like less than a year, I would say, to where we are right now. And it's a very competitive space, but it's the passion, that fuels us to where we are.
Yeah,
I
this
don't
is
know.
actually, we are true metaverse believers, because like, can you imagine the situation? Like, a lot of people saying right now, like, what the hell is metaverse? I mean, it's something that actually does not exist. Even if you immerse in this, it does not exist. So tell me about it. We're in COVID. We are sitting in our apartment, and actually, while other people used to stare on their screens, we used to gather with our friends from US. We used to like sit around on the couch or going some sci-fi worlds and hang out together and play together,
VR,
like this in VR, absolutely. So tell me, how it is not real? I mean, we have some really great friends coming specifically from metaverse. We have all our connection, all our circle, social circle, everything coming from metaverse. We don't even live anywhere anymore. So what is real?
Living in the metaverse, no doubt. Hey, you won't hear me tell you it's not real. That's for sure. I'm with you. It's definitely very real.
No, we just keep hearing sometimes that that's not real. You cannot feel it. We can feel it very well. You just have to go and try it, and you will feel it yourself.
Yeah, it is a very interesting kind of philosophical discussion taking place in the YouTube spaces. I do see people, fear mongering basically about the metaverse and talking about how the digital world's just trying to push us out of the real world and all this, But I don't see that as a contrast.
Yeah,
I don't see that as a conflict.
We already pushed out of the real world. How many hours you stare on your phone? How many hours you stare on your computer? And then can you imagine these things will just the screen will be eliminated, and all these things will come. I mean, instead of staring on your screen and typing your friends and getting the carpal tunnel syndrome on your fingers, which I actually have already. You just your friends come to your apartment as digital avatars, which like over allows us right now. Or you like wear VR headset and you travel places with your friends together. I mean, you have real friends. Yeah, you don't have to go into metaverse with them, But if your friends 1,000 miles away, how do you hang out with them? How do you hang out with them if you don't have metaverse? You chat with text? I mean, this is not even a question.
I mean, it's basically you could see it, and obviously this is what quote unquote Meta is going for, the angle they're going for. You could see the metaverse as just an extension of social media, in the sense of basically like you just said, people were already zoning out on their phones. Now instead, maybe you can actually join someone in. You can actually
join your real life in your digital life together, and you be happy in both. You don't have to choose.
Right.
No one says choose one,
It's just kind of expanding, right? I look at it as an extension. It's just an extension of your reality.
Yeah, of course. You see, it's it's not only an extension, it's significant quality, elevation of quality of life. We met people who actually sitting in their wheelchair, and here they can be anything. They can travel, they can see things, they can experience things. We suppose me and SpaceJoe would like to go to some world like International Space Station. We want to see International Space Station in a real size and walk inside of it. Or we go to the world where you can see the Starship in its real size, and you cannot. The VR gives you all this opportunity to see these things. I mean, we can't go there in real life and see the Starship, right? But like real, like space, and we are obsessed with the topics of space exploration. So here we can experience all these things, and people who have some disabilities, like physical ones, they have to come here at first, because they can have like what they don't have in real life. They can have it here at least.
Yeah, exactly.
This is very big difference.
You're not limited by physics or the tangible limitations someone might have, and especially like you say, anybody who is physically limited or whatever, that makes sense that they would have more fun kind of expanding into the.
So we don't say reject your real friends. Don't go hang out with them. Just do it in metaverse with unknown people. Actually, I say make friends all over the world. Don't only make friends, I don't know, in your yard or something.
Yeah, and again, I say it's
in your
funny.
neighborhood.
It's funny because since I joined the NFT community early last year, right, that's been one of the big things that I think a lot of people see as the value of NFTs is this international community being able to connect so easily, and it's a big part of what we're doing on Web3 Warriors. We've had people from all over. Actually, I should ask you guys, where are you joining from, if you don't mind me asking? You can just say country. You don't have to get too specific.
We are Malaysian-based team, so we both live in Malaysia.
Beautiful. Well, I'm glad I asked that because I want to clarify. I think you're my second guest from Malaysia, I believe. I had, that's amazing. It's really interesting to see the international angle of things for sure. I want to give a shout out to Charles. I appreciate you. He said he loved the merch. He also said your NFTs are amazing. And he was saying that there's a lot of
we will talk about them later. They're very special.
We will definitely. I got lots of questions for sure. And he was talking about how you can make new friends in the metaverse too, which is definitely a realistic angle. And I was going to say, coming from the gamer space, making friends with people on the other side of the world is not a new thing for me. Like whether it was
I started it when I was 20. World of Warcraft gave me a lot of real friends.
Right, exactly. And I know a person who actually married someone he met on World of Warcraft. And she was
of course. I know a lot of people like that.
She was in the southern states of America. She actually moved all the way up to Winnipeg, up to Canada here.
Yeah, you see? Make a world your playground.
Exactly.
Everything comes with metaverse.
That's it. It's all connected, I did want to ask before we get into your NFTs and your project specifically, looking at that, so you were in COVID, you realized there was a potential here. You had photography background, but not so much the 3D building background. So what were those initial steps you took? Did you just take Blender master classes, or what was kind of that initial step you took to be able to get to where you're at today, which is really impressive?
Self-learned. I learned everything from YouTube. I have very good methodics of self-teaching.
And what
I
programs
have very good
did you start with?
I started with Blender. And when I learned everything, I can, not everything, I mean, some basics, modeling and stuff, I actually picked up all kind of VR software for creation. So currently I fully create in VR, and I use Blender only for animations and some cleaning, geometry cleaning up work, nothing much. Wow. I create everything in VR, and I use iPad also because I like to be mobile, I like to move around, travel with all my work. Mm-hmm. My work setup is very, I mean, I can move from country to country without any problem.
Very portable, hey?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And so VR would be just like VR Sketch, or what would be the software in VR to build something?
Mainly I'm using Gravity Sketch. That's amazing software with, where you can model in. And I used to play around with the tilt brush, but it's not really a serious software if you want to create interoperable models which can be animated and stuff. But Gravity Sketch is my main goal.
All right. Awesome. And what about you, SpaceJoe? Is that kind of the same thing you've been using, or do you have different tools?
I'm handling mostly of the AR filters.
Okay.
So what I've been using is Spark AR. That's for Instagram, and another one is called Lens Studio. That's for Snapchat. So same thing. It's self-learned.
Web AR as well.
Yeah, correct. Web AR as well. So what's amazing is that there's because AR is still very at its infancy stage, so it's really new and you don't get many tutorials online. So what's amazing is that the community is really supportive, and those who are experienced, they would just share, and if you have any question, you just ask and they will help you out. So like that's the best thing about this whole journey. Like everyone's supporting each other, everyone's helping, like I just love that.
And where you see a gap, maybe you guys can fill that gap, right? I mean, you're got amazing talents, and you can probably teach some people a thing or two about AR filters or Gravity Sketch. But you're right; these are new platforms.
Glad to do that, but just not time.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, you guys,
just we have to work all the time.
busy team for sure. All right.
But we always help out anyone who approach us with questions, how to do, what to do. We always help out. You can go to our Discord. You can ask questions. We will always reply and help you out with anything.
That's awesome. That's why I was glad to be able to lock you guys down and get you here, especially because I think even just what you just mentioned with Spark AR, Lens Studio, Gravity Sketch, those are resources that people can look into and start building and creating, just like you two did, tomorrow. And so being able to share those resources, share the assets that you used, hopefully sparking some minds out there to think, hey, I can do this too.
We got to build real Web3. We got to build metaverse.
Exactly.
We need people.
We need lots of people, lots of builders, creators, writers, thought leaders, everybody. The Web3.
Like right now, we're actually doing everything. We're doing modeling, texturing, animations. We're doing AR, we're doing some programming sometimes, interaction, we're writing stories, we're doing sound mixing. I mean, we're doing everything for our experiences. We would love to get more people to do these things as well.
I love it. So there you go. That's an invitation. Anybody wants to tap in with Cybernerdbaby, you can find them on Twitter at Cybernerdbaby and follow their amazing work. All right. I have other random metaverse questions, but before we get too off track, I would love for you to share with us a little bit about, I think Oasis 1 is the one you wanted to share first, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let me land in the collection page here.
Our most recent metaverse project is we started some time ago, and we are using, we like interoperability. We're creating assets where you actually can use on almost all metaverse platform, except some specific ones where they don't allow you to bring your assets. There are some like this, or whereas they are too low poly that you can do that. But for this project, we're targeting mainly OVR or over how they rebranded themselves.
What do you think about that?
Well, I said, okay, it's over. What can I say?
All right, that was my reaction too.
Well, that's just the beginning. These guys over, they are really amazing. They're giving the quality of AR experience you can get with over is outstanding. And I'm not saying even that it's actually a social network. You can come and hang out there with people with their avatars. Same, it can be VR if you choose it to be. It can be AR. This platform is just amazing.
It really is. I was very impressed. That's why I made it into 2 episodes with Ebro, because I had too many questions. I had to have another episode to go through it. And now I have you guys here, and we'll have even more questions, but it's cool. And I know OVR is not the only, AR, attempt, the platform doing it, but I think they've made it very accessible, but you still have that key ownership, which I think is really important. I know there's Super World, for example, which has a very high kind of barrier.
We tried them all, we tried them all, and we found out that over gives the most stable, the most wow experience, because we tried all these platforms, and suppose I'm not saying against about anything. I love that Web3 coming out of the screens and merging like real world and the digital world. Suppose we can have AR like linked to certain locations, right?
Mm.
And we can have people coming to this location and hang out with us as avatars. We love the idea, but suppose like super world, I couldn't open any experience because I wasn't on location, and they don't allow to open the experience
Remotely.
somewhere. Yeah, remotely they don't allow that, so you can't really come and hang out with other people. It's not like really social network platform, I would say. So, and we tried like a couple more, but the best performance was given by Over. So our choice is just, it was so easy to choose.
That's awesome. No, I love it, and I'm glad you gave that comparison. So that shows even more. All right, so yeah,
we explored a lot.
Yeah, so where do you see Oasis 1 evolving in Over or any metaverse?
So what is special about such project like Oasis? It's actually, first of all, it's interoperable. Second of all, it is storytelling experience. So it's not, like metaverse for us, it's not about brands coming in and who bought what for how many millions, and, this is not about it. It is about like it's life, there should be love stories, there should be some educational experience. You have you have to be able to enrich yourself by going into some AR experiences, not only just come and look at some merch. I mean, it's good to have a store in AR to come and look at merch, which right in front of you, like not on the screen. It's great, but it's not only about that. So Oasis 1, I guess, is one of the first storytelling experiences in AR. I mean, projects. So if you watched such series like Black Mirror, I'm sure everybody watched, right?
I'm familiar.
But a Black Mirror is about dystopia, right? It's about difficulties people will face when they will try to merge themselves with like digital worlds and some high-tech stuff. But our project is mostly utopian because we don't believe in dystopian. You know why? You can't build VR headset out of the toaster. If you want highly developed technical society, then mentality should be changed, and it's going to be almost utopian society.
I love that.
Otherwise, we will still face like such things like wars, because or such things like some kind of old-fashioned dramas, and technology will not develop because we will keep being scared of that.
Yeah.
So dystopia is never going to happen.
Yeah. So you're essentially saying we evolve as a human society, as a human
Yes, we should evolve as a society and as a human race. Then we will get high technology, and it's like going together, actually.
Yeah.
So Oasis 1 project is exactly about this, about the future of humanity and what kind of things you're going to see there. If you go into any of our experiences, it will give you some education or some ideas about the future, some kind of predictions, and everything is researched, actually, everything based like on a true story,
Wow. So there's a real educational component to this project.
Yeah, there will be educational component, there will be entertainment, there will be sad love stories, there will be something to make you feel emotional when you see this AR, not just say, wow, this is so cool, because it's not about that. It should leave an impact. Like you watch a movie, you watch a good movie, it leaves an impact on you. You go to AR experience, it should leave an impact on you. This should be a story. So this project is like series of such stories about the future.
Wow, that's amazing. So I'm looking at this orbital platform, Oasis 1, and I noticed you've got the orbital jets. What are you foreseeing? Yeah. What are you foreseeing on this orbital platform? It is very cool sci-fi vibes. You got the droid there, little robot guy. Are you foreseeing people maybe sharing their NFT artwork on this platform, or What do you foresee there, or just anything
Right.
you want to do?
So maybe let's go over there and check it out. Right.
Okay,
So
sure.
yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
if you
gonna
want to jump
take.
over there, I'll put you on full screen, and we'll go get a little tour of the Oasis One platform. But yeah, you got really impressive NFTs here, very cool 3D builds, and the fact maybe touch on interoperability while SpaceJoe is getting us to the location there. You mentioned interoperability, so that's talking about actually having a digital
yeah,
asset.
okay.
I just want
So
to just
why
define it quickly.
Oasis? Yeah.
Let me just define it quickly for the listeners. So having a digital asset that will actually work not only in OVR as a metaverse, but can actually be ported into other metaverses as well. So you have the digital asset in your wallet, and it works in more than one metaverse space. But why is that important, Cybernerdbaby?
Well, what is metaverse? We should ask yourself, what is metaverse? Metaverse is a digital universe, right? It should be it's like many people, they are attempting to build like Web2 type game, which runs on blockchain, and they call it metaverse, right? The metaverse is it's not like some person coming in and saying, I'm gonna build my own metaverse. It's like in 90s, some person comes and says, I'm gonna build my internet.
Yeah.
How does this sound? You can't build your own internet, so you can't build your own metaverse. Metaverse is it's the universe actually, and interoperability is the key to it. So you can choose your spaces. We can say that different metaverse platforms are spaces, and altogether this is metaverse, and it should be one united universe where you can choose your spaces. You can go hang out on one platform doing one thing with one aesthetic, then you can jump into some blockchain game with another aesthetic, but you should be able to bring your own stuff everywhere, the thing you own on blockchain, the assets, your avatars, your cars, your houses. You have to be able to bring across all metaverse. So it's very important. This is actually a key to what we call metaverse, being able to own your things like you own your things in real life, and taking them everywhere you go in the digital spaces, or bringing them home in AR, doing whatever you want with them because they're yours. You bought them. These NFTs are yours.
That's amazing.
So interoperability is really a key. And regarding Oasis One, everything you can see in these experiences and these stories, you actually can own as NFTs. You can use them as avatars. Suppose while we're going to the Oasis One platform in Over, I can show you something. The droid which is on platform is also an avatar. You can use it as avatar in the platforms which actually allow you to use them.
That's amazing. So Cybernerdbaby just changed her avatar for anybody listening. She changed her avatar into one of the droids, which is really cool. You have no eyes,
so it's not just a word for us. We're trying to make this happen.
Yeah, no,
because this is what metaverse is about.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And you really touched on something really key there as far as the idea that the metaverse is the digital universe. And I've been saying this since early last year when people were kind of talking like, oh, you have to choose one metaverse, or there's going to be one metaverse to rule them all, or obviously the whole narrative.
You can't choose one internet.
No,
internet
exactly.
is
It's not possible.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to get this narrative that, whether it's CryptoVoxels, Decentraland, Sandbox, these are all just different corners of the same metaverse. That's how I've been kind of viewing it,
So,
and on that point, I think there's an important distinction between the Web 2 metaverses and the Web 3 metaverse. Because when we're looking at Web 3 metaverse, you're talking about that blockchain ownership, right? You're talking about having that new layer of ownership and like basically economic function within this digital space. Whereas, looking at the Web 2 metaverse, looking at basically what are video games, which are all very siloed off, and the assets only work within their own little centralized platform, right? So I think that's the very important distinction when looking at that jump from Web 2 to Web 3, and what you're saying about the metaverse being universal, that wasn't possible in Web 2 basically, right?
But it's gonna be possible. Just trust me. This is the key to it, and everyone will start on this. Some people already understand that. I mean, some builders, some developers, and soon everybody is gonna understand that, because I mean, what is it all about then?
Okay, so you got a question. I think Charles is really interested in your NFT. He's saying, so if we own the droid, we can actually use the droid just like what you're doing right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Charles.
Absolutely.
Go get your droid. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. Very impressive.
I mean, the platform I'm right now calls VR Chat is open source. You can put your avatars here. And for any NFT owner, we're going to put your avatars here for you.
Beautiful.
If you want to use it in VR, if you want to bring it as asset or decoration to such platforms like On Cyber or Over or Special, you can just drop it as NFT. Just link your wallet and you're going to have it there as a 3D asset, you know.
That's beautiful.
But the platforms which allow you to use your own avatars, you can use this one. You can do anything you want with it.
I really want the purple one. I hope you're buying the blue one, Charles. Just kidding. Just kidding. Get whatever you can. But no, this is really amazing. Very, very cool. And the fact that you get those
we
assets.
can jump into the platform and just see it, because it is a storytelling experience and we have to start it, and
Okay.
it will start.
Okay, let me full screen you then. SpaceJoe, you ready to go?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, let me just get it a little bit bigger on our screen here. 1 second. There we go. Getting the tour now. The purple goes with Web3 Warriors, right, Charles? That's what I'm saying. I gotta grab it. You know what I'm talking about, Charles. All right, so we're getting the view here. SpaceJoe is on Oasis 1. He is taking us on a tour of their platform out in the galaxy. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, don't forget, this is all AR. This is not VR.
It's all AR. Can it function in a VR capacity as well?
Well, we just put a space over there as a skybox. So basically it's VR, it's a virtual world, but it's in AR as a technology.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. Can you walk around a little bit, Joe? So when you're looking at those...
SpaceJoe it's very loud.
Yeah, it is pretty loud, Joe. I don't know if you can turn that down.
And we can't hear droid talking.
Is it better now? Sorry.
Yeah, you could even...
Nah,
yeah, you
perfect.
can turn it down quite a bit. But yeah...
Can you take us to the droid?
Droid, of course. Yep, here we are.
So the experience is built in a way that you should walk around, then you approach the droid, and the droid will start talking to you and telling you about Oasis.
Nice. So it's talking right now? It's just kind of quiet?
Any of them going to take you to Oasis from here?
That's amazing. So when you're looking at the little picture or the frames that you've got around the platform, how can those frames be maybe utilized or monetized? Could you put your NFTs on there? And
Yeah. When you get, suppose if you want to get the whole experience for Over as NFT, you buy it, and we because it's built in Unity, you can't really put pictures in the frames yourself. You can do it in the builder because we're giving the platform as GLB file itself, right? But if you want to get it as a full Unity experience with everything you see there, then we put your NFTs there for you. You just got to choose NFTs.
wow.
Or if you get in platform as GLB file and you work yourself on it in the builder or whatever Unity you choose, then you can do it yourself.
Okay, so if you get this as a, sorry, you said it would be an OBJ file?
No, it will be GLB.
GLB,
Yes.
okay. What software would you use to customize this yourself if you wanted to go that route? But you're saying you
if you're
guys offer
using-
it as a service once you buy it? You guys offer doing that as a service?
Yes.
Wow.
We build it in Unity, so we're doing it, and we will be able to upload it on the land of the person, which gives us their land, their address,
So
and we
cool.
just uploading it there with their NFTs of their choice, and they get the whole experience. Or you can also buy the droid separately as avatar. You can buy the jet. You can fly it in Over or any other metaverse platforms, or you can buy the platform and use it and put the the NFTs and the frames yourself. I mean, it's full interoperability. You can break it to pieces.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I'm just thinking now, when OVR gets that functionality where you can spread across multiple hexes, right? Then
Yep.
you might even really like that option of being able to fly around in your little jet, right? Because you might be able to get from corner to corner quicker when they release that.
Well, right now you can, if this NFT in your wallet, you can import it into any hex and fly it over there. There's a control function, so you can fly it like using controls. You know, you can
That's
fly it over
awesome.
your city.
So you can put your avatar into it and then just go?
Sorry.
I said, would you put your avatar into the jet, or will you just fly around as the jet as your avatar?
Right now, you are able only fly around the jet. I mean,
Cool.
we're waiting for more functionality to be
Someday.
released.
Man, the
Yeah.
animations on
So-
that jet are just wild. You guys really went over and above. It's very
So we
cool.
can jump into another experience because
Sure,
we got
yeah, let's
really
continue
plenty.
the
We can
tour.
be here whole day.
Let's continue the tour, Joe. Where are you taking us next?
All right.
Arita,
Hard Hill. Oh, Arita? Oh,
Arita, let's do the Arita.
let's
so-
do Arita. Yeah.
This is Arita. Nice to
Okay.
meet you.
Ah, Rita, nice. Looking good.
She's an AI girl, and we'd like to start with the video we made for the experience.
Oh, okay. Is that going to show up on his screen, or do we need to play that separately?
No, he's gonna show it on his screen. That's just a screen share.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll bring it up right away.
Arita.
All right.
My name is Aritha. I'm an AI girl and he is my favorite human. He was just a student when we first met. He didn't know the difference between me and real people. But he was kind and funny. He used to take me to shopping malls and explain all kind of stuff we see around. One day, he took me on a date. It was not unusual, as many people prefer to date their AI nowadays. He said I make him feel happy, and the ultimate goal of humanity is to find happiness. Every moment for us, slowly, became unique. Just two of us was always enough, no matter the occasion. He always pretended I'm only a human, just like him. Or, did he really think I was?
All right.
Yes, this
Wow.
is the a little intro video for the experience, and now we just jumped right into it. As you see, this experience has got a love story.
Very cool. That was a cool little love story. I love it. So that's Aretha's backstory, basically. That's her.
Yeah, that is her backstory. I mean, this is not really a backstory. This is the main story of the experience. And when you go into the apartment, you can see there's the whole story displayed as a graphic novel there.
Mhm. Wow. When you say the story is displayed as a
The
graphic
car,
novel,
SpaceJoe, the car is gonna come in.
Right.
So the car comes in from the real environment.
wow. So if you go out there, it'll show the rest of the real
I'm an
environment.
AI girl and
Yes,
he was my
yes.
favorite human.
Yep.
He was just a student when we first met.
That's fascinating.
He didn't know the difference.
So do you
between
see
me and real
yourself
people.
kind of building out the
But he
story
was
from
kind
here?
and funny.
Like there's going to be a chapter 2 kind of thing?
He used to take me to
Well,
shopping
there
malls
cannot be a
and
chapter
explain
2,
all
and
kinds of
you
stuff we
will
see
get to
around.
know about it when you get to the end of the story,
One
the
day,
experience.
he took me on a date.
This
It
is
was not unusual.
this
as
is
many
really
people
emotional
prefer to date their
experience,
AI
and
nowadays.
those people who tested it already, they really felt it, you know.
Ultimate goal of humanity
I love it.
is
That's
to
what makes it
find
real,
happiness.
right? It's
And yeah, you can imagine that AI generated voice sounds the way it makes you tear up. Just think of the future.
Yeah. And did you voice act that yourself, Cybernerdbaby, or did you?
No. This is AI generated voice.
Oh my goodness. AI generated voice.
I could never tell.
I,
Yes.
I
When
couldn't tell.
AI, right? Yeah.
I
Sound
did
pretty
my
human.
best to assist him.
Yeah,
and
it makes people really emotional when they see and listen to the story and see and meet her, as a character and go into this environment. We checked. It works.
That's amazing. So where in the Oasis 1 story does she fit as a character?
I mean, those are stories about future. They're not linked to each other, but they're
No.
all happening in the same universe, and the human universe of the future, somewhere 2028. I assume.
So Oasis 1 is in 2028 future.
Not
where-
only starting from somewhere, starting from there in the timeline. And we did a lot of research. Actually, we did a lot of research on the predictions, on the current predictions of different futurologists. So it's not only just like a fantasy world. It's actually as much as it's predicted, it's gonna come. It's all research, and if you go to our NFT page in OpenSea, and if you read about every NFT, actually there is a background for every character. There is a explanation how every asset, like orbital jet, how it works, the mechanics, the engines, everything is there.
That's beautiful. You guys really made sure you did your research. Most definitely. I respect that. So I like that. So Oasis 1 essentially is almost like a universe. You're almost looking like Marvel Universe style, They're connected, but not necessarily all part of one story. They're kind of...
Absolutely. Yeah, that's like that.
Happening in parallel in the metaverse. Wow.
It's happening all across metaverse because all assets are interoperable. You can bring them anywhere. So
Yeah.
I want to believe it's happening anywhere you want it to happen.
No doubt. So looking at the topic of interoperability, now that's really amazing. Congrats, guys. That looks so cool.
Thanks.
Looking at that topic, how do you see these assets kind of jumping into other? I know they were kind of built for OVR specifically right now, but they are interoperable.
No, they're not built for OVR.
No, so
they're
as of
just
right
placed
now, which other
they're
ones
placed
can
in
they?
OVR.
Which other ones can they drop into as of right now?
Right now we test. We use several platforms we test our assets with is Spatial, Perfect, and on Cyber, easy, Over, easy, and actually like wherever you wanna bring them. I mean, I might be not aware. You can bring them into AR yourself. I mean, we're testing it with several platforms. We're not able to test with everything,
Yeah. No, that's cool though. Even Spatial on Cyber OVR. It's kind of cool the idea of having this droid just hanging out in your on Cyber.
Sorry, VR chat. You're looking at me in VR chat, and I'm Arita.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can show you one more experience, which we called Kardashev scale, and this is more like educational experience. And we also got Avatar from there, and it's already been sold actually. But yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
I will just show you the Avatar itself. So this is the Avatar. If you know, the Kardashev scale is
that's wild.
So the Kardashev scale is was invented, I'd say, theorized. Okay, he's gonna tell himself.
Oh, okay, let me jump into there. I might have to put the volume up a little bit.
Sure.
This theory was named Kardashev scale, and since then it has been widely adopted by futurologists. According to Kardashev, there can be 3 types of advanced civilizations. First type, or type 1, is defined as planetary scale and can use all of the energy available on the planet. Type 2 is called a stellar civilization and can control and harvest energy of its own star by building such mega structures, like Dyson sphere. Type 3 is a galactic civilization, and can use the energy of the entire galaxy utilizing technology of Penrose process, and recycling energy emitted by black holes. Human race has not yet reached Type 1, and by the year of 2018, was ranked as 0.73 on the scale. Physicist and futurologist Michio Kaku suggested that humans have a chance to become Type 1 in 200 years, which is relatively a short time. Reaching Type 2 will take us several thousand years. Type 3 is a matter of a million years and long evolutionary process, in which machines and AI shall fully replace organic bodies, creating new type of artificially designed life form, with ability to travel interstellar and populate entire galaxy.
Wow, that's some Star
So,
Trek.
what are you looking at is a type 2 civilization, how we imagine it. It's going to be fully machine intelligence, because, you know, organic bodies have a lot of limitations. I don't think they can build mega structures which can harvest energy of black holes or the stars. So I think we're going to be merged at last. We're going to be merged with artificial intelligence, and basically we're going to become artificial organisms like machines.
So basically, we're going to be cyborgs, is what you're saying.
I'm saying we're going to be cyborgs, and it's just natural because we are already merged with our Google and with our social networks. We can't imagine our lives without them, and eventually it's going to be so much part of us that we're going to be identifying ourselves as a merged entity, and it's going to be a natural process. They're not going to happen any war with machines, because you don't have a war with Google. How do you have that?
Right.
It's just part of you,
So what's more important, to your earlier point, is ensuring that these spaces are built in an ethical way, and ensuring that human evolution or social evolution is keeping up with the technological evolution, right?
Yes, absolutely.
That seems to be where we're kind of stuck at a crossroads right now. It remains to be seen whether we will attain that human evolution.
Where I believe we'll do, and we're real metaverse believers. I believe all these things we're saying is gonna really happen. People gonna date their AIs because they're already doing that. If you heard about such things like Replica, the chatbot.
Yeah, I've heard about it in Japan. There was some guy who married a clone or something of some popular.
You just go to the Facebook page of Replica, and you see that a lot of people have a crash on their chatbot. This is already happening today. So can you imagine the level of intelligent machine who can also have or imitate empathy and all that? Of course, people gonna date them. I mean, what else do you need? The ultimate goal of humanity is to achieve happiness.
Oh man, you're too far ahead, Cybernerdbaby. I don't know.
Sorry.
between telling everybody the digital world's taking over, we're all becoming cyborgs. We're all gonna fall in love with our computers. I think you're scaring some people.
Well, if you think about that in a positive way, that is really amazing, because. I mean, that's going to be amazing experiences. There is nothing wrong with that. It's going to be evolution.
Yeah. Can't deny that.
Yeah.
Can't fight evolution, right?
I don't have to. I mean, It's a beautiful thing happening. I mean, look at where we were. We were a cave people, and where are we now? Isn't that beautiful?
For sure. I'm with you. I'm all for the evolution. On that point, I would like to, SpaceJoe, I don't know if you have another location you're bringing us to. Just let me know.
No, that's the last one. That's the last one in Nova, but we have some AR experiences we can show you. Like, you can place them in the real world.
Cool.
Suppose some Instagram filters, you can place them in the real world and use them, observe them. I mean,
okay.
Not only you go into our worlds, you actually can bring them inside your world.
That's so cool. That's amazing. Joe, did you have anything you wanted to add on that point, or any of those points?
Yeah, so talking about augmented reality, like what we are trying to do with Oasis 1 is to push the boundaries, the limitations, because we know that AR right now is commonly associated with entertainment, fun filters, but we are
advertisement.
Advertisement as well. So we're taking a step further by using a applying it across different, you know, like for example, education and like storytelling, because we know that one day, I mean, AR is going to be the next medium that everyone's going to be using, and especially when the glasses comes around, the AR glasses, it's going to be a life-changing event for many people.
Yeah,
So
on that point, I keep seeing these Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and I know I don't want to give my data to that company. That's all it comes down to. And I'm just wondering, what do you guys think?
Well, what are you gonna do with your data?
I know. I'm just being extra. But forgetting that concern, do you think that there's a space for an up and coming company to kind of own that corner, or are we just going to have to accept that the Metas and the Googles of the world are going to be the only ones providing us with these tools that are going to be so crucial?
Okay, look at me. I'm using the Quest, but I might be using Vive or anything else, and I'm not in the Meta. We are not in any of the Meta worlds. We are never. I mean, besides Instagram, because Instagram is popular, and that's only the reason. So Metaverse does not belong to Meta. They're actually far behind on building a lot of things. Seriously. Even building AR, their AR has much more limits than AR of even such platform like Snapchat. Snapchat has full body tracking, and Meta is just releasing that. So they're not gonna overtake the Metaverse. They are already far behind.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I never really had that concern per se, because I think, like you said earlier, the metaverse is the universe and you can't take that over. But to the point about the tools, right? When I'm looking at the tools, I'll admit I don't want an Oculus, and I'm really looking at other VR options for this main reason. And it's not just data concerns, but really just ethically not wanting to support that company. So looking at the future of these tools that are going to be so important in the metaverse, and kind of key points of entry, do you think that we just have to accept that kind of the big corps are going to be the main gatekeepers of those tools, or do you see any interesting development from, I heard that Somnium Space, for example, was creating their own VR headset, but have you heard of any other maybe more Web3 based companies or entities that are going to build some of these? Like looking at those glasses, like I don't want those Ray-Ban glasses, but I wouldn't mind a cool AR, functional glasses that, weren't owned by Meta.
Well, first of all, Ray-Ban glasses, not AR. They're just smart glasses.
Right.
We don't really have, except some like HoloLens and Magic Leap and a couple of others. We don't really have real AR glasses with full functionality right now. So we are hoping that Apple will make a release of the first AR glasses.
Cool.
And actually, I don't know how about other people much. I know there's going on like a lot of talks about we don't want to support those big corporations anymore, but actually we really don't mind whatever gives us tools to live. I mean, it's not really a good thing that Meta is doing. Like they created their Horizon VR platform, and they're taking 50% from the builders. And the Meta Horizons, the quality of the experience is not even competitive comparing to these platforms. Suppose, which is VR chat, is open source. You can build your worlds and do whatever you want with them, and the VR chat is not going to say anything to you. It's just people know what they see on the surface. If you dive deeper, there's a lot of companies which provide you with a lot of tools and a lot of spaces. So Metaverse is not owned by Meta. Meta actually just making some attempts to grab something they can at this point of view with their billions of budget, and they're actually not succeeding right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they have this Oculus headset which beats everything just because it's very available, and I got it because it's available. I don't care. I mean, they can use my data forever. I mean, I use things for free and I pay with my data. Well, I make my choice. You can make some other choices, and
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There's definitely gonna be competition on this market. Meta is not gonna grab everything for sure, and very, very, very good competition. It exists already right now. It's just not
Yeah.
many people aware because there's not those platforms that don't have the same big budgets, to show themselves off.
Yeah, and it's interesting though that if they are trying to compete with Web3 spaces or the Web3 metaverse, to say that you're going to only allow 50% of revenue to go back to the seller, and from the from the Web2 traditional perspective, that seems like a lot, right? You look at what YouTube gives you or Twitch or
Wow,
whatever,
that's crazy.
they give you tiny proportions, so 50% actually looks good. But then anyone like yourselves who are building in the Web3 space and getting 90% plus of the revenues back to themselves directly through a decentralized wallet,
Yep.
it's clear that they're almost not even trying to compete with Web3,
And no, that they're not even trying, and we use very less of Meta, and we're not linking our life with them. But if they provide us with some good tools, we don't mind. I mean,
hear
50% is, of course, it's like they don't really realize what's coming. That's not gonna people go for. There's never good builders, really skilled, really intelligent builders, are never gonna go for this.
No doubt. Why would they? It
So-
doesn't make any sense. Like you
Yeah,
said,
why would they?
the
So
platform
they're
is
making
limited. Yeah.
mistakes. They're making their mistakes right now. Let them make it. They're ruled by some old school people, seems like.
No doubt.
What we can say? That's not smart. That's not smart.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. That's interesting. Okay, well, we'll talk more about that. Joe, what do you got for us here? You're going to show us a new filter, I think?
Yep.
Alright.
So right now we are on Cybernerdbaby's Instagram, and so we have our filters tab here. So these are all the filters that we made. We have all kinds of different filters. We have like face filter.
I'd love to see you had the baby, or not the kitty cat, the cat with the coin or something. There's like
We
a
don't
cat
have.
holding something. All right,
You
whatever
can
you have
show.
there, whatever you want to show. What about that? What about that
you
mask
can
one?
show- Which one?
The mask
You can
one
show
had.
the card, the business card.
All right.
SpaceJoe?
Yeah. We'll
So
show
we have
you.
our business cards in real life. So if you want to take a look at them, we can show you how we make our business cards. I mean, we make them for other people as well.
Okay.
Right.
I mean,
so, yeah.
it's not only passion. We got to make some money, right?
No doubt.
We have to make some living.
Whoa, that's super cool. Okay, so wait. So you guys, wow. So you do this as a service? So
yes,
if
of
somebody
course,
wants to
yeah.
order an AR functional business card, how much does that cost them?
Yeah.
And what do they do?
This is interactive. He interacts with you.
It's
Yeah.
so cool.
So it's just a card, right?
Mhm.
So there's QR code. So we hand this to people. They just need to scan the code,
Yeah.
and then it takes this filter on Instagram, and then all you need to do is just point it to the image here, and then this little dude, NecoBot, he will appear. And so if you tap,
Yeah. Saying hello.
yeah, and then
Wow.
continue.
It actually offers help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he kind of offers help.
Yeah. So
And we had
They are-
another one which is really cool. Can you show that one?
Okay, I just want to
Next.
explain for anyone listening. We're looking at a business card that Cybernerdbaby has created that takes advantage of Instagram, or is that Snapchat filter?
This is Instagram.
Instagram?
Because we're using Instagram just because it's popular.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, everyone you have Instagram. That's why no app downloading and stuff.
Yeah, this is next level. So Charles is getting his mind blown just like me, saying so many different cool experiences, and he's saying this is beyond anything he's seen anyone else do, the interactive business
SpaceJoe,
cards.
please show our fish.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, so if I wanted to order an AR functional business card, like what you've just shown us, where you can scan over a business card and a little AR figure pops out of it, where do we go? What do? We just reach out to you on Twitter and get this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Most of the people reach out to us through the website or Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, like every platform.
Wow.
We get people from every platform, and we're freelancers, but we're having full-time job. You know,
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
doubt.
we are work full-time doing freelance.
That's so cool. So
So
this
can
one
you
looks
see
for a
our
specific image.
fish?
Yeah, and once it finds the image of the fish, it comes to life.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like fish in its own little aquarium, and it's fully 3D.
Wow, that's so amazing. Like that's like exactly.
Can you
the
show
kind
some
of-
angles?
Yeah, he showed some different. Oh
Okay,
wow.
okay,
Whoa.
okay.
That's so cool. Man, my mind's just thinking about all kinds of stuff I want to do with that functionality, because I was just about to order some business cards, trying to get some new ones that include my podcast on there as well as my business, but with it being Web3 Warriors, I think it makes sense to try to add some AR functionality. That would be super dope. So
Well, we did some AR clothes. Can you show the video, SpaceJoe, of AR clothes?
AR
Oh, right,
clothing?
yeah. Yep, we do have.
Yeah. Just the video on Instagram page.
I actually have the shirt with me right now. So
No,
let me
that's okay. Just show the video. That's already shot. It will be faster. No. Please, can you show the video with the shirt itself?
Wow, so you scan the shirt and it starts showing the heart.
Yeah,
That is
it's
so
kind of
cool.
inside of it. Creates an illusion that there's some cyber parts inside of you.
Right, yeah. Going back to your cyborg mention earlier, it makes you look like a cyborg if you scan it in AR.
Yeah.
You got a mechanical heart in there. So we're seeing a t-shirt where if you scan it with your phone, it actually shows a little mechanical heart beating. Very cool. Wow. Well done. This is the most impressive AR stuff I've seen by far. You guys are really ahead of the game. And Cybernerdbaby, just the philosophical perspective that you've shared with us as far as where you see the metaverse going has been very enlightening, I think. And I agree with you fully. I know there are some who are not as excited about that inevitable evolution that we are facing. But I think you put it very well and in a very good positive light. It's really exciting, and I think you have to have that perspective to be able to build like what you're building. Like, you really haven't limited yourself, and you're really just trying to go for, like you were saying earlier, it's not about advertisements, it's not about just making money, it's actually trying to connect to people at like an emotional level, and then you are tying in the education, and really helping people learn like what Web3 and what the metaverse is all about. Wow, what is that?
This is a Tesla coil.
Tesla coil.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. That looks like something you find on an alien spaceship.
No, it's just Tesla coil. It's invented by Tesla.
Amazing. It looks like a souped up Tesla coil, though. I feel like I've seen a Tesla coil. It didn't look that futuristic, though.
Okay, a little bit by design, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like looking into the future.
no doubt. That's beautiful. Wow. So how many digital assets have you guys created, if you have a number?
No, we don't. That's really a lot. There are really so many. I mean, you can go to our Instagram page and you can scroll and keep scrolling and keep scrolling. We make a video about every experience or asset or whatever. We make avatars. Actually, every avatar like you're looking at is actually created by us.
Wow.
We also our partnered with the two Chicago fashion designers, and we're doing a project with them, and we are making avatars based on their fashion sketches. And
That is fascinating.
yeah, and they're also going to be as NFTs. Yeah, so something like this. This outfit was created by Estefania Galvan from Chicago.
Cool.
Yeah, we also did a suit like a real physical suit with the AR experience on it. So it's not only just T-shirts. You can link AR to your clothes, to you, and
Link AR to anything, I guess.
yeah, you can link AR to anything. Absolutely.
Wow, that's fascinating. Jumping into, what is this? Whoa.
Yeah, so the one I was talking about is a project. It's a collaboration with the two fashion designers. It's called Meta Element. So this is on Snapchat, and this is a full body tracking filter. So yeah, you can see me.
Wow. So this Chicago brand basically created some clothing that looks like this, like what you're wearing on your avatar.
Yes.
And so they've come to you saying, we want to purchase, or we want to create AR filters that show off our fashion designs. Wow, that's
No, they
super
just
cool.
approached us and said that they want to incorporate some AR, and then it came to the whole project where we're creating avatars, like wearing their designed outfits.
Wow. You guys really are busy, eh? That's amazing.
You can't believe.
Yeah. So where do they plan to use this, or are they just looking at it more as like a social media promotional engagement function?
Well, they're avatars. They're functional avatars, just like
Wow.
I'm wearing right now. They're all they are in AR, and also we are making the first fashion show with this brand that calls the Moss brand.
Mm-hmm.
So the fashion show will be happening at the same time in the real life and in AR. So there will be AR like runway and store, and at the same time there will be real runway in the physical space, and there will be real models, and you can use AR filters to convert them into these avatars walking over there. So it's going to be merged together. It's a 25th of June, I think, and it's in Chicago.
That's amazing. You're gonna get some recordings of this, right? You got to share it around. That's how you get that promo. And I hope I get to see it, because I really want to see what that looks like in practice. When they're using it for their event.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's exciting. Awesome. Well, man, you guys have really taken us on quite an amazing tour. I love that you're the first to actually be interviewed in avatar format. It's almost like a VTuber episode. I feel like I'm just missing my avatar. On that point, actually, I once had an avatar built before I knew anything about NFTs and the Web3 metaverse. I actually had a really cool kind of lion avatar built for myself that I still have, but it was made for, I guess, Altspace VR, or no, VR chat. I think that's what it was. So it would be like a Vroid. I think it would be a Vroid file. Are you familiar with those?
Okay, VRM.
Or VRM, yeah, that's right, VRM. So yeah, I built that, and so I'm wishing I had my own here, so we could all be it'd be a true VTuber episode, But I haven't actually rigged it to where I can be in it, because I don't have a VR headset, for one. But for two, I just haven't got around to it because I got sidetracked by the metaverse and Web3.
You can always do that. I mean, avatar, like what we believe right now we have all this profile picture NFTs, right? And like 101 NFT art. Actually, the most valuable possessions of the metaverse and the future Web3 are going to be avatars and your personal belongings, like your cars to drive, your houses to live in, your pets,
your clothes.
Whatever, your clothes, I mean, every NFT got to become functional.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will not sustain. Of course, there will be art as well to put in your art galleries in your houses. Of course, it will stay. But the most valuable possession actually are those which you can use in Web3 and use in metaverse.
Most definitely. So I think we've sufficiently kind of clarified that distinction between the Web3 metaverse, which really is universal and ultimately is going to be interoperable, and most importantly is connected to the blockchain and connected to your individual digital ownership of your space, of your assets, clothing, digital car, whatever droid, orbital jet, whatever asset that might be.
Yeah, the possibilities are limitless. You can own a spaceship and it's going to be yours everywhere you go.
That's beautiful.
You can live on a spaceship.
No doubt. You can invite
I
all
mean,
your
just
friends.
use
You
your
can have a party. You
imagination.
can have a party on your spaceship. They can all join from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, just use your imagination. This is metaverse, and somebody's threatened by that. How can somebody be threatened by that? This is amazing.
I agree. It is amazing. Looney Tunes Watt is asking, digital waifu? I don't know about that.
Digital waifu was well, he's just making a joke, I suppose. Yeah. But I mean, if digital waifu is the same intelligent as your real waifu, then what's the difference at the end?
There you go. Charles is saying it's been a great episode. Loving all of this. Me too. It's been amazing. Very eye-opening. I really like your philosophy, Cybernerdbaby. I think we're on the same page. You guys are both definitely Web3 warriors of the truest form. So I'm so glad that you were able to join us here. And I would have an open invitation as you guys are building out your projects. If you want to come back and share anything, pitch anything, I think everything you've spoken about on this episode really speaks to the ethos of what we're about here on Web3 Warriors. So I want to thank you for really educating people who are listening. But yeah, any other thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, so I just want to add that, I want to shout out to the OWR community who has been really supportive of us. Hexadice, thank you for reaching out to, connecting us with Web3 Warriors, and also congratulations on your newborn kid.
Nice.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Hexadice. That's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, and also about talking about the metaverse, right? So I guess like right now there is a lot of, I would say, multiverses, because there's so many different companies and corporations that are, striving to be the one that everyone will go to. And I think that, like, for us as users, as creators, we always have a choice on which platform we choose to go. It's the same. We have so many NFT marketplace. We have OpenSea, we have Foundation, we have Looks Rare, and so on. And we choose them based on which, based on our preferences, right? So eventually, in the end, I would say that if there were to be just one metaverse to rule everyone, I feel like that's not what people want, actually, because the whole thing about Web3 is that we can participate in the governance and the operation of the protocols themselves. We are not just customer of products, we are part of the entire ecosystem. So, and with more awareness, more, knowledge and exposure to this whole Web3 culture, and also, there are so many DAOs, these decentralized autonomous organizations, everywhere. So people are more empowered than before, than the Web 2. And I believe like Meta itself would eventually have to transition from a centralized system to a decentralized, if that were to happen. But if that was the case, if they choose not to, then we are still, we have so many other options, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like, well, to foresee a metaverse, that would take like 4 to 5 years if it would happen. But I guess right now, like, we're talking about interoperability. I think that's the thing which other existing or upcoming metaverses platforms should focus on, because that's what the users want, the creator wants, right? We create and we want our assets, or the people who owns our assets, our creations, to be able to show them off, to be able to bring them around, right? And I think that's the essential, thing that people want.
Yeah.
So so I would say that to those listeners out there, don't worry too much about who's gonna be the one who controls all of the the metaverse. But I think we should instead focus more on empowering ourselves, like educating ourselves about Web3, about the blockchain, and keep creating, because that's what brings us all together, the community. And I mean, ever since the whole NFT thing exploded, like I suddenly noticed that everyone is so interested in arts, right? I've never seen so much, news about arts. I switch on my social media to the news.
Yeah.
I come across about NFTs, about like Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, and all. So it's like a truly like new revolution, like they call it the new the art renaissance, right? So and I think there is an increased appreciation for artists, for creators, and that's one of the most empowering things for us as artists, right?
Yeah, and I
Suddenly,
think it's even more so being able to actually empower the artists and the creators, right? So I think, like, I look at myself personally, I've got some art on my wall. I've got a couple pieces that I had purchased before NFTs, and I love the idea of being an art collector. But as we know, in the traditional world, that's a pretty high bar, and art gets pretty expensive. And excuse me, there's a lot of like middle people, right, in the art space. So I do think that, to your point, this is most definitely a kind of revolutionary new art renaissance that we're experiencing. But I think a big part of why we're experiencing that is because there was all this kind of bottled up appreciation and love of art that wasn't really being able to be like fully expressed. But with the blockchain and with this new peer-to-peer ability to say, hey, I love that art, I'm going to buy it right now, and 95% or 90%, whatever, huge amount of the revenue from that purchase is going right to the artist. So not only can I...
And notice it's all over the world. Your
Exactly.
collector can be from anywhere. You can be from anywhere as well. There's no borders.
Exactly. The borders are gone. Peer-to-peer transactions without paying any ridiculous fee for having it be an international transaction, that's completely gone, never to be used again. And when I look at international money transfer, I will never use Western Union ever again, because that's ridiculous. Like, I have a Bitcoin wallet. Like, if anyone wants money from me anywhere else in the world, I'll just shoot it to them with Bitcoin. Like, I would never go through a bank to send international money like ever again.
Well, we mostly paid by crypto.
No doubt.
You can guess that.
Yeah, it makes things easy, right? So
it
that's
makes
where the...
things so...
Sorry.
It makes things so much easier. And I'd say, like, what about crypto? Like, some people still don't believe in crypto. Well, that's just fine. The crypto is something we're living on.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because we're seeing the actual governments basically rushing to make their own currency into a kind of government-backed crypto, which is not crypto at all, of course. But they're basically following us at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, you touched on really important points there, SpaceJoe. Did you want to mention anything else before we wrap? I just have a final question for you too.
I guess that's all I have to share. Yeah.
Okay. So main question I ask all our guests, although I think you've already kind of hit on it, but we'll put an exclamation point on it to wrap us up. I know we're hitting the 1.5 hour mark right now. We could probably talk metaverse all day. I appreciate you. I want to respect your time. So looking at the Web3 space, looking at a lot of the misinformation and that we see out there, I always ask, what do you say to people that maybe they've never heard of Web3, or maybe they're just being dissuaded by some of the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that is out there? What do you say to creative people who just haven't stepped into Web3 yet, and why should they? I'll start with SpaceJoe, and then we'll go to Cybernerdbaby.
All right. So basically, how I explain Web3 to people who haven't heard about it is basically you write, you create, you write, you read, and you own. So, for myself, I came from a fine art background, which means that I used to produce prints, right, for my fine art photography. So these prints, if they were to be exhibited for an exhibition or a show, the gallery takes like a certain percentage of the sale. And what happens after that is that if that piece of artwork, which is owned by the collector, gets sold to another secondary collector, I don't get the royalties anymore. So in the case of NFT, that's different because it is on the blockchain, and every time my artwork gets sold to the secondary marketplace, to the secondary owner, I still receive the royalties from that. And that's where it empowers the creator themselves. So I believe for starters who are getting into Web3, learn about or read up about decentralization, interoperability, and the blockchain. I think these are the three basic things you need to know to learn about. And always remember that as a creator, you have ownership over what you create.
That's right.
So, yeah. So, and the whole thing about decentralization is that, I mean, the few key basic points is that it's blockchain powered. There's no central authority, and there's no like centralized server that controls the data.
No doubt.
And about interoperability, which is connects to the metaverse, is basically a seamless ecosystem that is fully connected, right? So if you own this asset, you are able to bring it to, I mean, anywhere you want, right? And you are still the owner of that. So that's what, I mean, essentially that's what Web3 is about. I would say ownership and being a whole decentralized system.
Most definitely.
So,
and I would say true immutable ownership as well, because that's one part that gets lost on people sometimes when we're talking about immutability. The fact that these assets will live on the blockchain forever, especially in the situation with Ethereum and Bitcoin, well, especially Ethereum, I guess, which is so decentralized. You know, the blockchain is not going to go anywhere ever. And so not only are you able to build and create and sell things and have true ownership and get truly compensated fully for yourself directly through peer-to-peer transaction with anybody anywhere in the world, basically very seamlessly and easily, but you also have that added option of having it kind of really preserve a moment in time, you know, like it has that provenance of having minted it on this day, and it will be there on the blockchain forever. And one other key point on that point about the galleries, right? Some cases when you sell your work in a gallery, they wouldn't even tell you who they sold it to. You didn't even get to know who your buyer was, which is crazy because they didn't actually want you to go to the buyer outside of the gallery and start selling them stuff, right? So they'd be like, have proprietary information about who actually bought your piece. So just another example of these middle people that we just don't need anymore. Galleries are nice, and there might still be scenario where you might want to be in a gallery, but you should never limit yourself to a gallery anymore now that we have this opportunity with Web3, you know? So thank you, SpaceJoe. Lots of important points that you raised there. Awesome. I just want to also say, if anybody in the chat does want to ask any questions, this is your chance for last questions as we're wrapping up here. But Cybernerdbaby, what do you say to those who are maybe just looking at Web3 but still hesitating?
Well, I just want to add that if you don't want corporations to own metaverse, get into the metaverse and start creating right now, because there's not enough people who build metaverse. And of course, these corporations, they hire all the best minds, and they putting them on a wage, and they build something that is corporate owned. You know, it's just, if we don't let it happen, it will not happen. There will be so much competition, they will not overtake the whole market. I just wanted to add this.
That's a very important point. And to your point, you two just started this 2 years ago, and now look at the amazing scope of work that you have under your belt already, right? So anybody can do what you have done, right?
People will come somewhere where they feel comfortable, where they feel amazed, where they love being, where is great community. So if you be like hesitating and waiting when Meta will feed you with the spoon, probably it might happen. You have to join the community and start building today. Start building free decentralized community. Start educating yourself, and then like Meta will not have a chance to overtake this world.
They'll never overtake it because we're already building that, and there's enough
Yeah.
decentralized. To your point earlier, right? You were saying that there's already worlds out there that are better than what
Yeah,
Facebook, with all their
much
billions
better.
of dollars throwing at it, they're still not even caught
They're
up.
also free.
Yeah, and free. Exactly.
Yeah.
Important distinction. Yeah, that's exciting. And we're going to keep building. That's what Web3 Warriors is all about. This is literally the point of the podcast, to bring people together, to show other people who maybe aren't familiar with Web3 what's happening on the blockchain in this Web3 space. As Cybernerdbaby perfectly just said, we're out here building, we're building decentralized autonomous organizations, which we call DAOs, which are basically creating all kinds of different projects as a group, as a collective. And then we have creators like Cybernerdbaby and SpaceJoe here doing the real tangible, nitty gritty 3D building, where we're going to go and live in these spaces, enjoy these spaces, connect with other people all over the world in these spaces, and most importantly, get people compensated, get artists seen, recognized, and really just keep building. It's a whole new economy. It is a renaissance, as SpaceJoe said.
And that's not only an economy. It's not only about making money. If you think about it like making money, that's not gonna bring us anywhere. That's the whole life you can have.
So society, maybe more broadly than
society. Yeah.
All right, I like
society.
it. Yeah, so we got the digital society on the up and up. Cybernerdbaby and SpaceJoe are way ahead of most of us, but we're catching up to them. But thank you so much for that look at the future, Cybernerdbaby. It's really been amazing. Not seeing any questions from the chat. I think we're good. Did you want any last thoughts before we wrap, either of you?
Well, I think I've said everything that was on my mind, and it just could be nice to see more people joining Metaverse. And help us building the new digital world, the Web3.
Let's go. New digital society. We're building it.
Yeah.
SpaceJoe, any thoughts?
Just like to say that, keep creating, keep being inspired, build a community, I truly feel that like the whole Web3 community, like, it's really powerful. I mean, when everyone gets together, you could really see something happening like that, and it happens so organically that sometimes I feel amazed that like some certain projects, they could achieve so much in a short span of time, and that's the true power of
we're really inspired by our community, including like our community. We always really inspired by them and supported. Community plays a very important role in Web3.
Most definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
Probably the most important role. That's the Dream Conduit and Blockchain Gospel. Check us out. And OVR, much love for OVR. You guys are amazing. I've really been inspired by the community outreach ever since that first episode I did with Ebro, and seeing all of the builders and the spaces that you've built out and what you're providing. But yeah, Cybernerdbaby, thank you so much for showing us. Everybody go check out Cybernerdbaby on Twitter and their OpenSea page as well, which you can find under their username Cybernerdbaby. Go check it out. Lots of amazing digital assets and very future forward metaverse projects on the way. So thank you again, Cybernerdbaby and SpaceJoe.
All
right, take care, everybody. Until next time, we will catch you in the metaverse. Peace out.
Bye.